They've been getting like Candace Owens on that. Like I keep seeing clips of her pronouncing stuff wrong. I'm like,
yeah.
well, they should watch this. They have a lot of content to cut.
But why is that like something I can comprehend? Like I'm like, oh, okay, I know what she meant by that. You know what I mean?
I was like, she's out here doing her best.
Yeah,
I get it. Hi, Sincerely Sisters, and welcome back to Sincerely American. I'm so excited for this episode today. I think we're going to hit like some fun politics and culture, but we're also, because it's going to be Valentine's Day this weekend. I'm so happy Valentine's Day is finally falling on a weekend. I'm definitely going to be celebrating. So we're going to have some kind of relationship, Valentine's Day topics that we're going to get into as well. So we'll wrap it all into a bow. As usual on this show, I feel like we cover everything, very serious things, and then we love to get into the fashion, the dating, the culture. So anyway, just stay tuned throughout the whole episode. We'll be covering a lot.
The duality of Sincerely American.
Exactly. Okay, so I know that this is going to be a little bit late because obviously we film a few days ahead, but I just had to cover this. The Bad Bunny halftime show. It's been like 24 hours now, and let's just roll these clips.
Bad Bunny song.
I already got one. Sorry about that.
I don't know who that is.
I never heard of Bad Bunny.
I don't know who that is.
I heard performing
at
halftime.
But yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know no Bad Bunny song.
Do you think they made a mistake?
I believe so. I ain't never heard of bro till now.
I don't have one.
I don't listen to him.
I don't know any song.
Oh, what the heck's it called? I blanked out the name. I don't think I have one.
I don't know Bad Bunny song.
That's a tough one.
I don't have one.
I don't really listen to that, but I can't lie.
I really do not know any.
I haven't listened to any songs.
I don't know any to keep it G.
I just tuned into Bad Bunny this morning because is it DTMF?
DTM too. Like your second favorite. I don't think I can name it.
First of all, we posted this on the Conservatoire. I thought this was so funny. This was the actual football players, Cameron. Not a single one of them even knew who Bad Bunny was, except for like one guy named like one song, and then another person's like, I hear she's great. And Bad Bunny, of course, is a man. So I thought that was so funny. I feel like everybody knows, but for those of you guys that don't know, Bad Bunny was a halftime singer. He went up and just did his full show in Spanish, like 100% in Spanish. And I stand by this. Like, I think that there is some good Latin music. I don't listen to Latin music. I don't speak any Spanish, so I can't really like name any Latin artists, but like I've heard like, you know, like Pitbull and Shakira, they kind of get into the Latin vibes, of course. This is not even good music. He was like screaming into a microphone, just random like Spanish blabbering the entire time. Here was the crowd. Echo. Like literally everyone is just like a bunch of white people just standing there like looking around.
This reminds me of when we were at Live in Miami and some of the DJ was like, if you speak Spanish in the house, like scream. I was like, me amo, Cameron.
I forgot about that.
No, it's so true. I was so lost this entire halftime show, Jamie. I watched this one just because Pat had on the Super Bowl and he was just kind of chilling on the couch watching it. So like in the background, I would see it because obviously like my family's visiting me this week, so I haven't had like a ton of downtime. But when I watched it, I'm like, well, one, I don't understand any of the lyrics. I knew who Bad Bunny was. Of course, I love seeing like Jessica Alba. That was cool. Seeing Alex Earl, like that was nice. But then on the other side of the coin, you had like all of these people like dry humping each other and like grinding on stage. It was just like complete and total degeneracy. And I even tweeted, I said, this makes America look so ghetto, in my opinion.
I know. I tweeted out too. I was like, no, I did not enjoy the halftime show that was 100% in a foreign language by an artist that I've never heard of and songs that I've never listened to my entire life. Of course, like a lot of these liberals are like, like it was the most amazing halftime show ever. And then you have a bunch of conservatives that were very mad and tuned into the Turning Point USA show. They did really well with streaming numbers. I have to give them that. That was a big swing and they hit a home run on that for sure. Then you have kind of the people that are like, why is everyone making a big deal about a halftime show? For reference, I grew up in a family where we watched the NFL every weekend of the season. That's a Sunday ritual. And I just felt like it was so offensive because it was just a slap in the face to like the average NFL viewer. And I feel like the average NFL viewer is lean a little more conservative, lean traditional. They're very pro-American. They're kind of like that working class guy, right? That's like worked a long, hard week and he sits down with his beer and he wants to drink and watch the game. And these people have just been kicked out of every element of our culture. Like all the movies have gone woke. Every brand is woke. All these singers are woke nowadays. So it feels like that we've just been like disenfranchised and excluded from all of the culture. And it's like, can we just have one thing, which is like NFL? That's like literally all we want. And I'm not even asking for a conservative singer. Obviously, there's not many conservative singers, but can we at least have the performance in English? Like, the bar is so low. Like, can we have it in English so we understand? The bar is on the ground and somehow they went lower. And like Kendrick Lamar's performance last year, I didn't love, if I'm being honest, but like at least it was in English. I'm not even asking for a country music. I'm just asking for some bangers that we can all sing along to, that we can all love. Anyone who's saying that they love this Bad Bunny, who's not like obviously speaks Spanish and maybe like actually listens to Bad Bunny, like a lot of people from different countries. I understand that he's popular in a lot of other countries, just not really, I think, as popular with the NFL crowd and the average American here that doesn't speak Spanish. But I love this. This is a meme that people tweeted out. This is Jacob Fry, the Minneapolis mayor. And for people who are not chronically online, he was saying like how much he loves Somali food. And he was like trying to eat it, but you could see his face the entire time that he actually hated it and it was not good food at all. These were the liberals that were like, oh my gosh, Bad Bunny was so amazing. I was getting down to Bad Bunny. I'm like, can you name one lyric from Bad Bunny? Yeah. Like, I want to hear your lyric from Bad Bunny.
Oh my gosh, I know. And then I thought for a second, I was like, okay, well maybe this is going to be a good show, because at the end he goes, God bless America. And then right after God bless America, he goes, and God bless Cuba, Nicaragua. It's like kept like going. I'm like, can we just acknowledge America? Like, these are American football teams. This is America's, like, I don't know, like the backbone of our nation right now is riding on this game. And it's like, you used to have these performances. I remember being a kid and not even really understanding football, right? But I would be there. My family would be watching it in the living room. There would be all of our friends coming over, feasting, bringing food, like kind of like a potluck. And I would just be so excited for this halftime performance because you felt the patriotism, the love of country, the celebratory aspect of it, right? Like everybody wanted, just a nice celebration with their friends and family and their loved ones watching something fun. And this just wasn't fun because, one, I didn't understand it. Two, I don't know. And then here's my thing with this too, just to wrap this all up. And people are like, well, he's Puerto Rican, like an American territory. People in America predominantly speak English. Honestly, that should be a requirement when you take a citizenship test. That is like something I strongly advocate for, is that you should be able to speak English. I don't know why people come into this country and do not know how to speak English. A lot of other countries see that as like very disrespectful if you don't know their language. You can actually vouch for that, Jay, since you went to France and you had to speak French when you studied there.
The French want you to speak French.
Exactly.
And it's what most countries require. Most countries would never have like their main cultural event, and that is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a huge cultural event in our country. They would never take time to like make it all about another country. It just made no sense whatsoever. And like you said, they came in with all of the flags because they were basically his message was, we are all America, saying like,
yeah, but we're not all America, okay? We are not.
They threw in Canada, and then they threw in all these Latin American countries being like, we're all one America. I'm like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not all one.
We are the greatest country of all time. Yeah, this is the United States.
Like, we are not, do not associate with that. And they're like, well, there's 40 million people here that speak Spanish. I'm like, okay, well, the other 310 million don't.
Yeah, and probably half those people came in illegally anyway. So it's like...
And that's a new thing that they've brought in. And like you said, if I have, my parents immigrated to the U.S., and they came here. I always say this. My parents, they're not Canadian anymore. They're American. They wave the American flag. They're all about America now. And that's how every immigrant that comes here needs to be, in my opinion. That's not to say you can't be like proud of your culture and history. And Bad Bunny has every right. Like, I'm a free speech advocate. He has every right to do and sing whatever he wants and fly his flag. Okay, if he wants to do that. But I just felt like that was it was just an FU, like I said, to NFL viewers. And it was on purpose. It had to do with an FU to Trump as well, everything that's going on with ICE and deportations. And it's just really sad to me at the end of the day that we have an event, like you said, that's supposed to bring in everybody, unite Americans all together. We all have a good time. Everyone tunes in. And it just became like a huge political thing. And that's just such a thing for the left. They do this in every aspect of culture where they just inject their toxic politics into it. And then they get mad that we point it out. And they're like, why are you mad at this? I'm like, I don't know, because we can't have a normal Super Bowl because of you people anymore. That's why I'm mad. I just want a fun Super Bowl.
I know. You know what was one interesting point that I actually came across today was Caroline had said that it was the only show that showcased the institution of marriage, because I guess somebody got married during the halftime show. It was actually a real ceremony. I don't know how. Like, I mean, he was like singing over it. I don't know how they were going to do that. But I was like, that's an interesting point. Like, I kind of liked how they showcased that. But everything else that they showcased, again, was just like not something I wanted to be thrown in my face, not something I wanted my 14-year-old sister behind me to be watching. They're like literally throwing their butt cheeks on these men. And it's like, I just, the dancing was terrible. Let's just get that out there right now. It was like absolutely terrible. I feel like I contracted AIDS through the screen. And then on top of that, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. So I'm going to leave it there. I wish that I should have put on subtitles or something to translate it into English, but I don't even feel like we need to do that for the for America's NFL. Like, I don't feel like we need to do that.
I am thankful they didn't have subtitles, Cameron, because, oh my gosh, his lyrics are disgusting. Here, I'll put them up right now. I think, I wouldn't know, because once again, I don't speak Spanish like the other 310 million Americans, but I think that he changed maybe some lyrics for the Super Bowl to make it a little more family friendly. I don't know, but these are the lyrics to the songs, one of the songs that he sang, and it's incredibly raunchy. It's not family friendly. It's gross. And the last point I'll say too, all these like feminists are the first to defend Bad Bunny or any of these rap music artists. Meanwhile, their lyrics are the most degrading lyrics I have ever seen towards women. Like, it's like the most disgusting, degrading things possibly you could say about a woman are in so many of these songs. And like, I'm not like one of those like Puritans that's like, oh my gosh, like you can't swear or say anything. But I'm like, this goes a little far, and I'm like a little
they're
grossed
like,
out by
we're
this.
about female empowerment. And it's like calling women whores and and like only using them for their bodies, and like let's just like swipe it like a credit card and let them use it. And then they're the ones propping up this nonsense. I know, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And it didn't end there, you guys. The theme, I guess, of the beginning of this gap is how things that we used to be able to all enjoy, have fun, unite, have become divisive. So moving on to the next sporting event that's been going on this last week are the Olympics. And I used to, and I still am, like I'm watching the medal count. I love that America dominates every Olympics. We kill it out there. And I do love, something that I just love about the Olympics is that these people train their entire lives, and you can just see the excitement and the tears and the joy that goes into when they win. And it's a wow moment. That's what I've always loved about any sporting event, but particularly the Olympics, you really see it, like getting that gold medal. I love the skater from DC. He like did like a backflip and got the gold, and I just think it's amazing. But unfortunately, these athletes, and we'll roll this clip. This is Hunter Hess. I don't know why, but these athletes are being asked about politics.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
Cameron, it's just like, one, why are they being asked anything to do with politics? These people are here to compete around sports, and that's what they should say. They should just, and once again, this goes into the politics portion. I'm not asking you to be conservative. I'm just asking you, like, can you not crap on our country in front of the entire world? It's in such poor taste. This was so disappointing to see from Hunter Hess, and he went most viral, but there was a few other athletes as well that had to criticize Trump, had to criticize this, and it's like, focus on your sports, and you're representing America. We don't want to hear your politics, and it's just embarrassing, to be quite frank, and it's very sad, and I want to cheer for these Americans, and it makes me feel like I can't cheer for you now.
I know. And then it's like, why would you even want to represent the United States if these are your true sentiments behind closed doors that you're obviously like vocal enough to say out loud in front of millions of people that you don't agree with what's going on in our country right now? Well, then why don't you move to a different country and compete for them? It's really not that hard. You're obviously like a very talented athlete. You've made it this far. I hate this so much, especially because I know one of my friends, Danya, she's an Olympic shooter from Tampa. I have my aunt actually represented Sweden. She's Swedish. She did the high jump in some of the previous Olympics as well. And I know two of them for a fact, very, very proud to represent their country, very proud to even make it that far, no matter the placement. Obviously, very two talented athletes that did place in the Olympics. But this is just so atrocious to see. And honestly, Jamie, this is why I got into politics. I remember being a collegiate athlete. I was a D1 cheerleader at the University of Louisville. And guys, at the University of Louisville, like right now, I mean, I'm thinking back when I cheered, like Lamar Jackson won the Heisman. We had like Donovan Mitchell on our basketball team, like all of our sports. I think one of our baseball players actually was the first overall draft pick for that season. It was insane. So we were like at peak like athleticism, right? And then you have all this Colin Kaepernick stuff come out. People start kneeling for the anthem. I was like, what is going on? I have law enforcement in my family. I just saw it as like such an injustice, so disrespectful to completely disavow and demonize our law enforcement officers like that, people who serve in our military like that, and to take a knee for our anthem. And so to see this on full display of not even being proud to represent your own country in which you've made it that far, you put your life, like your lifelong efforts into this sport, obviously, blood, sweat, and tears, and this is how you get up in front of a podium? F you. That's literally how I feel. You should not be competing for us, in my opinion. This makes me so sour and so disheartened too, Jamie, because imagine how many other athletes who would love to be in his position and say something completely different at that podium. Be so excited to be there, be so thankful and blessed, give all their glory to God and their family, and this is what he says? It's disgusting.
It's in such poor taste. It reminds me of, like, example, if I'm in a fight with, like, my brother or my mom, you keep that in the family. I would never publicly go against my family. And to be 100% transparent, there's no fights going on. But pretend if there was within my family, you keep that in the family. That's how I feel with when you go across the world. You should never, when you are speaking about your country to the world stage, you should never go against that. And that's fine if you have political disagreements and you can make your voice heard back at home and we can have discussions here and debates. But that is not the place. What is so crazy to me is only the American athletes are being asked about politics in their own country. What I would like to know is, why aren't we asking Elaine Gu, or Eileen Gu, I think is her name, who, this story gets me. For those, this has not gotten enough press, in my opinion. This woman is a skier. She's from San Francisco. She went to Stanford University. And I think because of money, she decided to trade from representing the United States to representing China. I mean, it's disgusting. Who trades on their own country? Yet, people aren't asking her, hi, what do you think of the CCP? What about the Uyghur Muslims that the Chinese government is killing systematically? What about the suppression of free speech and the suppression of rights of Chinese citizens?
What about child labor?
Yeah. What about Tiananmen Square? Can you comment on that, yeah. Eileen? No, they don't ask her a single question. Instead, she traded and actually came out today against President Trump, of course. That's the only people she's criticizing. To be fair, she's not allowed to criticize China because then,
yeah,
I don't think you can do that. But it's like, so no one's asking her. Instead, American athletes get asked all day about their politics. And even there's hundreds of countries around the globe that have incredibly corrupt governments, terrible governments. Are they asking the Mexican athletes, hi, how do you feel that your government's corrupted by the cartel? Mm-hmm. No, they only save these questions for Americans. It is so ridiculous and outrageous on every level. If I was an athlete, I would be like, screw you. I'm not I love America. People have different political beliefs. We have elections in our country. We're a proud democracy. We have freedom, and I'm free to be an American, and I'm thankful to be here for the people who have fought for my right to be able to represent this country. And a lot of these athletes make millions of dollars. I mean, It is the most annoying story, but I'm telling you, that Eileen Gu, I think Eileen or Aileen, I don't know exactly how to pronounce her name, but that is the worst story. Total traitor from the Bay Area where I grew up.
Well, now I want to know who these journalists are who are asking these questions, because you can always follow the trail to see, who's owning these corporations and things like that, of like, why are they asking these questions? Are they a liberal news network that's wanting to stir up more conflict? Is it somebody from like an adversarial nation who's trying to stir up conflict in the United States? Like, who are these people asking these questions? Also, it's just a complete double standard. Like you said, why aren't we asking any other nation's athletes these types of questions? Because they're just not as interesting. Do you understand that every single other nation like is covering Trump 24/7? Yeah, people are so interested. It's like we are the main character though on the global stage again. Character. Like people kind of forgot about us when like Joe Biden was like our president. We kind of fell off. Like nobody respected us on a global stage. They were just like recording him like falling asleep at like the G7, or is it the G7 or G6 summit? G7? I don't know. G12? Yeah. G7?
There's a lot of G's.
Falling
asleep. The G7 one.
Yeah, falling asleep at these summits, not being able to complete a thought or a sentence, and so we were, kind of fell off. And now that we have President Trump, like every news cycle, there's something new every single day to cover. I like seriously can't even keep up, and that's probably why they're doing this, because they know it's going to get the most attention. It's going to catch the most headway. The titles are going to be captivating. It's going to get the most engagement, the more clicks. So that's probably why they're doing it.
I'm just trying to keep positive, focus on the athletes that are great and representing our country well, and we'll live to fight another day. Speaking of living to fight another day, I wanted to do for our last topic on the Yap a wellness check on anyone who's living in the eastern part of the United States right now. It has been so brutal. There's been so many funny TikToks about it. So this is in New York, but it's the same situation in DC. I don't know why, but okay, to be fair, I've lived in DC since 2020. We have never gotten snow like this. And even when we do get snow, it melts like the next day. It really doesn't stick. This has been brutal. We just have it's now just ice everywhere. Like, to get here today, I came out of my condo and had to hike over an entire hill, almost like slipped because it's pure ice block. There's no like clear pathways to then get into the Uber. And I know this is first world problems, but you would have thought we would have better like snow services in order. And on top of it, Cameron, I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know how much longer I can do it. Like genuinely, it is been 3 straight weeks where it has like not gotten above freezing temperatures. The parks are closed. I feel bad for anybody with kids, including myself. I am like running out of activities to do with Vivian. We are flying back to California for a little bit because I'm just like, I can't do it any longer.
No, I know.
I can't do it any longer.
My mom and my sister and my sister's friend completely escaped it. They've been out of school for like 2 weeks now in a row. They just called off school again this week because people can't even like leave their neighborhoods. The neighborhoods really haven't been shoveled that well. I think like some of the main roads have cleared up, but like you said, it's just black ice everywhere. You can't drive, you can't walk. Like it's very hard to leave your house. I mean, I don't remember anything that bad. I'm in California now, girls. If you're listening to this like on audio format, but I'm on on California time. We've got like 75-degree weather. I just went to Malibu 2 days ago. It was like 80 degrees there, but my mom, like, we were worried that she was going to get delayed, or like her flight from Chicago to LA was going to get like, I don't know, canceled, or something was going to happen. So we were planning for that. And I haven't even seen anything this bad since I know if you're from the East Coast, you remember the snowstorm of 2008 where all the power was out. Nobody could get to school for like a month. We were all snowed into our house. It was like 15 inches of snow. That was back when like everybody would go like sledding and like people would, this is so redneck, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but we would get these trucks. No, I swear, we would have like our dad's trucks, and then they would tie a rope from the back, and we would literally like sled as if we were like at the lake. But we would
that.
Yeah, but we would like stand on the sled, or we would get like a mattress and tie it. And I remember that's like all we were able to do because nobody could leave. And this was the era of like no DoorDash, no Uber Eats. We were like having to stuff up like COVID, like where we would have like canned soup, like SpaghettiOs for like a month, and like PB&J, frozen PB&J that your parents like stuffed in the freezer. Yeah, or Uncrustables, that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, I mean, it looks brutal. I don't even want my mom to go back, honestly, because one, I don't want her flying into that weather, neither with my sister. And how do you even get in and out? Is DCA canceling flights? I don't even know. I'm like so out of it.
I haven't been traveling. Unfortunately, I've been stuck in DC. But I will say yesterday it was like 40 mile per hour winds, and it was like 22. It was like 18 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was like, I like walked outside and I was like, no. I'm like, I tried to go down to like the farmer's market. No, I'm just like, okay, another day inside. I'm like, Vivian needs vitamin D. I do as well.
Seasonal depression is real because when it gets that cold, you actually like can't be as social. You can't go outside. Like, it's hard. Like, it's very hard on your body. Like, I know a lot of people, if like you have joint issues, especially when it's colder, it's rainy,
skin
like
is so like
skin
tight
gets
and
bad.
dry.
Yeah, like eczema starts to flare up, or like dry skin patches. It's just like it's seasonal depression is real. Like, your body's really not in the best state. And I completely wellness check for all the girlies. Blink twice if you need help. We'll come save you.
We hope you're doing your best. We're praying. We're praying for sunnier and warmer days. And I will say, like, yes, I'm from California, but my family is Canadian. I am not weak, but like it's getting to me. And I used to tell people all the time, like from the West Coast, because I feel like people in California are so dramatic about the East Coast. Like, oh my God, I could never do the weather. And I'd be like, the weather's really not that bad. It like gets pretty humid during the summer. That was more annoying. But I'm like, the winters in DC are like totally fine. Not this year. I will tell you that. Not this year.
Just make sure to invest in a red light therapy mask. That'll help with the...
And a lot of moisturizer.
Yeah, and a lot of
collagen face mask. I've been doing that like every night.
Yes.
All right, girls. I am really excited to announce that I'm going to be speaking at the Virginia Convention that's put on by the Virginia Council on February 27th. I would love to see some of you girls there. So I'm going to put the link in my bio where you guys can go through, click, buy some tickets for the event, and give me a DM if you guys are planning on coming, because I would love to meet you and chat all things Sincerely American, the Conservatoire. I'm really excited about this speech that I'm doing, because I'm going to be talking all about Gen Z issues, how we're going to win back young people, the divide between men and women, all the issues that we discuss on this podcast. We're going to get planning, and we're going to figure out how we're going to do well in these midterms in the years to come. So it'll be a great way to combine culture and politics, my favorite issues to talk about, talking faith, motherhood, marriage, family, fashion, all of the best topics. So I want to see you girls there. Make sure you join. I'll be in Richmond, Virginia on February 27th. Okay, we're headed into I Have No Words, where we always have a lot of words. Okay, Cameron, this was like literally made for this segment, this news story. I sent it to Cameron the second I saw it. I'm like, it's been rough out here for white women. Like, truly, white women have not been giving us a great name as of recent. We're trying to hold the line with Sincerely American, like, really hard right now. And we're trying to be like, some of us are normal, as all of our Sincerely sisters are. But these women just, like I said, they're out here, they're doing their thing. So I can't even keep a straight face reading this. So a mob of angry... I'm sorry. This is the title for like this tweet. That's just making me laugh. A mob of angry, extremely emotional white women berate CorePower Yoga staffers for being complicit with ICE raids.
Wait,
so
CorePower Yoga instructor. Yeah. So it's because they didn't mention anything during their class or something?
Yeah, so long story short, these women wanted their instructor at the this is in Minneapolis, to speak out against the ICE raids. But CorePower apparently was silencing their instructors from speaking out on the issues. And so these women formed a mob and went to the CorePower and started berating, like, probably like a minimum wage employee working the front desk this.
He's like, or he or she is like, okay, now hit the downward dog pose. And then these liberal women are like, how about you speak out about the ICE raids that are happening in this city? What the hell do you want from these people? No,
like, there was like,
oh, go ahead.
There's like some men in the back, like holding their ball, be like, yeah. Like, I'm like, oh my God, these are the most pathetic group of people ever. Then this white boomer woman, oh my God, she released this video going into detail.
Let's go. Give us answers. Let's go. Say them out loud for the camera for all my viewers. Let's hear it. Why are you being silent? Let's hear it, Delaney, loud and proud, baby. You want to say it? Let's fucking say it. Why? Okay, let's go. It's an in a weld. You should have well-rehearsed corporate action and words ready to go. Our community. I sent out $10,000 for people for rent yesterday that people gave on to my Venmo that I'm going to pay taxes on. Delaney, let's hear a goddamn answer.
The silence is deafening.
So I think I'm just taking a pause.
No, don't take a pause. Come on, you came here to silence teachers to make sure everything was good. I've never seen your face in 10 years of practicing and paying my money at the studio. Don't take a pause. Be loud with CorePower Corporate's answers. Let's fucking go. What do you got to say?
Okay, I was just sharing that.
Louder, Delaney, for us in the back. Let's go. What is it? Why? Why are you having one of our best teachers quit? Because you can't stand behind her. Answer that.
Okay.
Person with the glasses, do you have a good answer? Delaney can't seem to cough it out.
Well, I mean, we're being berated right now, and so we're.
You're not being berated. You're being asked hard questions that you should have been answered. This is not berating.
Okay.
Trust me.
Cameron, I mean, it's almost like a Babylon Bee headline. Like, it's like, how is this real life? This one's just so absurd. But this is a trend that, you know, I kind of really felt like this started during BLM, but it's like, you must speak up on these issues, blah, blah, blah. And it's like these liberal, particularly liberal women that try to force all of these companies, these influencers online, anyone who quote unquote has a platform, that they have to be speaking on the issues or they're like betraying everybody involved. And it's just such an arrogance that it's actually very, for all these people calling us like fascists all the time, that is very fascist that you're coming in and forcing people to speak on issues and forcing people to go along and toe the line for whatever political agenda you have. They don't realize President Trump won the popular vote. More than half the country disagrees with you on a lot of issues in different ways. But they always have this arrogance, like everybody must agree with me. And like, and if you're not, you're betraying like America. It's so arrogant. It's so out of touch. And I'm just sick of it. Like, I don't think your CorePower yoga instructor needs to be commenting on politics. I don't think a lot of these brands, I don't think the Super Bowl, I think, can we just keep like some stuff completely out of politics? It's exhausting.
Yeah, I think it's also just an emotional manipulation tactic too when I hear how all these people like will call on influencers to speak out about certain topics, and it's just like you don't even really want them speaking out. You just want somebody validating your feelings all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for me too. Especially with these CorePower yoga instructors, think about how many hours it took for them to get this certificate. They probably had to spend thousands of dollars to become an instructor. And imagine dedicating your life to like health and wellness, and then somebody's like, yeah, I need you to speak with authority on politics. It's like, why are you asking this of them? Can you just leave them be and to have you like get you skinny and like in a better mindset when you leave a class? Why do you need them speaking about like international relations and domestic issues and political campaigns and what's going on in the news cycle? It's like, what if they just don't know? What if they're so invested in actually how they teach your class that they aren't even focused on that? Speaking of too, even influencers, like think about all the fashion influencers that are like called out to speak on particular issues. Like I know, like I've seen all of the I don't want to say drama because there's not really any drama, but they'll show like how Paige Lorenz will I guess react to something like with Dairy Boy versus how like that Morgan Riddle with the tennis girlfriend wives thing will like speak out, because Morgan's obviously very, very liberal. We don't know if Paige is liberal or conservative. Obviously she's very patriotic. She loves, you know, her designs kind of show that with the American flags and with Cape Cod and the camo, like really embracing like American tradition. It's just like, but why do either of them need to speak on this? Because they don't.
No,
I
don't.
literally follow them for their outfits. And I follow them for their lifestyle content. I do not follow you to know if you voted for Kamala or for President Trump for that matter. I want to know how to coordinate my outfits better. Like, it's like, why are we doing this to these people? It does not make sense to me. And it's just like you said, it's so ignorant of them to only be thinking about themselves. You need to be validating my feelings 24/7. And you need to be speaking. They don't even care. If that's the thing, they don't care about the substance or the principle of you speaking out. They only care, does this person agree with me, right?
And
if
it's
you
the control.
don't,
They
yeah,
want
it's a
control
control
over
tactic.
people.
It's literally emotional manipulation.
Yeah,
where they're
like
just
bow
going to
down
press
and
you.
agree with me. And
Yes.
you better do it, or I'm going to form a mob with pitchforks and we're going to come and
We're gonna come
boss
with
you
our
around and annoy you.
our yoga balls, and we're gonna throw them at you. And we're gonna cancel all of our classes and our $250 a month membership. It's like, these people. This is such first world problems, like truly.
And it's such a privileged person problem because you're so right. Like people who are just grinding, like a lot of people working minimum wage jobs, like this woman was working at the front desk. They're not paying her crazy amount of money. We know that. And people who are just literally trying to put food on the table for their families, like they don't have time to be like up to date for the most part. Like maybe some people do, but a lot of people like don't even people who are not grinding out, they're like, some people just don't want to be like toxically like in politics 24/7.
Yeah.
And so all of these people that are like demanding that you must comment on stuff, they come from such a privileged place that they sit at home and scroll on their phone all day about how they're going to be outraged about this. And it's almost coming from like an insecurity because I don't know, like for myself, like I grew up in Northern California. I went to Cal. I just grew up around people who really disagreed with me on everything. And so I feel like I'm just like used to it and it doesn't bother me. Like truly someone else's like, in terms of voting, like I want to, the whole point of like the podcast and getting people involved and hopefully changing some hearts and minds. But like on an individual basis, if someone disagrees with me, I just like, I don't really care that much. It doesn't affect me. Like I'm confident enough in my own beliefs that like I don't need to feel validated by yours. But I think it's completely a control tactic. It was the same thing during COVID, how they love to tell you, you have to wear your mask, you have to get this vaccine. They just love to like control everything you do. It gives them like this power trip. And I just think
who
people
can
are sick of
virtue
it.
signal the most, you know?
It is an arrogance that you believe that you are 100% right and everyone must agree with you or you are a bad person. And I think for us that come from the conservative side, I mean this, I can disagree with someone and can understand where they're coming from. Like, I don't think because you're liberal, you are a bad person. I never believe that, actually. I think that you have good intent and you are going about things a different way and you see things a different way and you have a different perspective. But I think it's important always to humble yourself and know, maybe I'm not 100% correct, or this is my perspective and why I believe I'm correct on this, but I don't believe in forcing your opinions on the others. It's not, everyone has a different perspective. They grow up with different values. They grow up with different ways. They have a different mindset. And like, that's what's great about America. You can have a difference of opinion and you shouldn't be mob and pitchfork at the yoga studio if you are, and it wasn't even they were MAGA. It's just like, no, we're not going to involve politics in the CorePower class. And it's like,
I know. It's like, again, you said it, like comes from such a privileged place. It reminds me of like Ellen DeGeneres recently. She called to boycott ICE and then like 2 hours later, she was looking for a new mansion. And it's like, obviously you're gonna call to abolish ICE because you're living in a gated community in a very big house that probably has like a lot of lockdown features, probably has, private security at the front as well as the gate. Like, you're perfectly protected. Rules for thee, not for me, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
but when we actually want the government to help out secure our borders, make sure that the people in this country are safe, you're gonna completely disavow that. But you guys still, especially those at the Grammys as well, they wanted the whole venue secure, but God forbid we secure our border the same way they secured that venue by checking IDs and making sure that they had security at the front. And then all of a sudden, President Trump's the bad guy. It's like, you guys do the same thing in a different font, and they just don't get it.
hypocrisy. It's exhausting. All right, you girls, we're headed into our next section, non-toxic advice, where we're answering all of your questions. As always, it's so hard to choose which questions to answer because you guys write in. We love our Sincerely Sisters. We love hearing from you. If you have not written a question yet or you want to write another one, make sure you go to sincerelyamerican.com/ask-a-question. Okay, for our first question, it's coming from Gigi from Los Angeles. Hi, girlies. I love your show. I first heard about it when you were featured on Link Lauren's podcast. We love Link. And I'm happy I came across it. Like Cameron said on one of your episodes, I used to love Call Her Daddy, but as I've gotten older and became conservative, I hate the message it puts across. I also do not have a lot of conservative young friends, being in a deep blue California, so it's refreshing to hear young voices talk about politics and pop culture. My question for you is about birth control. I know you said that you don't like to use it. I do plan on starting a family in a year or two with my partner, but what alternative do you use if you're not looking to get pregnant right now? This is a great question. This was going off of our last episode because we went into birth control and the bad effects. So Cameron, do you want to go first?
Yeah, well, she says partner. I don't know if they're married. I don't know. I'm going to just assume that you're married and that you're like in a, yeah.
It sounds like it from it.
Of a yeah. So I think in that situation, honestly, I believe that things happen on God's timing. I don't think it's always going to be on your timing. Nothing's going to be perfect. I think Jamie can really vouch for this. I mean, like you had your daughter very young. A lot of people want to like have everything all at once before they do this. And sometimes it's like the beauty of like growing with each other and going through those different life stages. And so I don't think that you're going to be able, like as an adult, control everything that happens in your life down to like the actual timeline of it. I say when it happens, it happens. I know, some people would like to wait, and I know, I think you said 2 years. I forget what she said. That 2 year span, I mean, I think that honestly, just like take the leap and have the children. I don't think I think children are such a blessing. I know that it's going to probably motivate you to want to work harder, to want to be a better person, be in the best physical, spiritual, emotional state that you could possibly be in for yourself and your children. And so I don't think there's a problem in, I don't want to say being a little bit reckless, but like just taking the leap and like see where it goes and see like what God's timing truly is. Because if it's meant for you, it's never going to pass you up. It's always going to come to you. And so I would just pray about it and see like what's the best option for you and your spouse.
I do think, like, going off of what you said, I do think it loses magic when you overplan things. But that being said, as someone who had a baby very young and, like, right at the beginning of our marriage and everything, there is kind of that season, as we talk about season of life, where maybe you do want to, like, have that time where you're just married and have it be the two of you. So I understand that. We were talking about in the last episode about all the drawbacks of birth control, and something that really bothers me about birth control is that you are suppressing your natural cycle. And once you get off of birth control, a lot of women do a lot of cycle tracking. I know, like, natural cycles, and there's a lot of companies that you can look at where you can take your temperature and you can. Yeah, exactly. And you can track your cycle. And that's not 100% foolproof, I will say. Like, coming out and saying this, do not count on that the same way that, a birth control pill would. But it's a great way, a lot of people, like, tracking your ovulation and these different cycles that you go through can actually just help you in life in general. Like, I always know, like, oh, I'm in, my luteal phase and I'm in a bad mood, or I feel like a little bit bloated. And I think it's, like, really great as a woman to know about your cycles, and that's just helpful in general in life. But a lot of people can do that, that cycle tracking, and that works very well for most people. So I would definitely recommend looking into that and doing it the natural way. And I think that's how God intended it. Like, that's why I don't like birth control. I just think it's like suppressing like your cycle and your normal your physiology. And I just would recommend going the natural route if you can. And that's why, I also said in the last episode, it's important to wait for the right person, because, if you are going the natural route, there is a higher percentage chance that you might be pregnant, or you might get pregnant. And so you want to make sure that's with the person that, if that does happen, that you'll be with the person that you're meant to be with. And so it's very important. That's why sex is a very, people treat it like it's, a casual exchange, and it's not. It can bear life, and a lot of times it will. So I would be very careful about who you're engaging with and make sure it's the right person. But I would check out the natural cycles. Okay, next question. We're doing like Valentine's Day questions because it's Valentine's Day. So I did all relationship questions for these, Cam. So Lola from Utah is asking, my boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years and know we want to get married. I am ready to get married because this covenant under God is important to me, but he says he wants to wait until he can buy a house and have the money to provide for a family. We currently live with his parents while we save. Is this a valid reason to wait?
If he doesn't, another man will. I will just put it simply that way, because I've had boyfriends who I knew for 4 years, I dated for 2, yada, yada, yada. and they weren't ready. And guess what? Like, another man was, and the love of my life. And God, when you are just asking for one flower, God is going to send you a bouquet. So honestly, I don't want to devalue the relationship that you're in right now, because I don't know much about you or your partner. But here's what I will say: he needs to lock it down. If you're ready, I would 100% vocalize that to him.
I agree. I think communication is really important. I also think men tend to move on a slower timeline, because we talk about this. There is a biological clock on women. We want to, have kids as early as we can for the most part. And so I do think that men don't sometimes have that same urgency that women do. And I think, I think what you said, Cameron, is very true. Men do have that provider mindset and want to feel like they are stable and ready to take on that role. But at the same time, that's something that you guys can do and grow together.
Yeah.
And every statistic says that you make more money when you're married. So I would just have that communication. And, I think also, like, a lot of young couples will, like, live with their parents at the beginning. I personally, and like I said, this is just my opinion. Everything works for other people. But I think it's important for you guys to get married and branch and get out of, your parents' house and get your own place together and, branch out, take those wings, fly from the nest. I think
Yes.
that's an important step in life, and you should have communication. And if he's not willing to do that, then I do think, it needs to be, I'm gonna move on to someone who will, because this is a common story of a lot of young women. They spend years and years of a guy,
Yes.
we're gonna get married, and he never locks it down. So
And he gets comfortable.
I would be careful. I don't know your age in particular, but I don't think, in my opinion, once you get past maybe the age of 25, 26, you shouldn't be in relationships that are going 3+ years where there's no ring on your finger, because that time is precious and there's a lot of fish in the sea and there's a lot of people who would love to lock it down with you. Okay, last question. Eliza from Texas. I am struggling with my past and my past sexual sin. I strayed off the path in college and engaged in hookup culture. I have deep regrets about it. After college, I turned my life around, committed to celibacy, and converted to Catholicism. I am currently in spiritual direction with a trusted Catholic priest. My main worry is that I won't be able to find a decent Catholic man to marry with my past. I have a lot of insecurity, especially when seeing treadmill content on social media on this topic. Do you think it's still possible to pursue marriage, or could it be more worthwhile and virtuous to pursue another Catholic vocation, like consecrated single life or becoming a religious sister? Parts of me so badly want to be a wife and a mother. Wow, this is a great question. I'm really happy we're hitting on this.
Yeah, there's so much substance and so much to unpack here. And I really want you to go over the Catholicism aspect of that, Jamie, because I know that you're Catholic. But I think just to touch on the beginning of, what she was saying about kind of being insecure, I just sense a lot of shame. I sense a lot of guilt. And I want to make it known to Eliza, you are going to have those thoughts. A lot of people mess up early in their lives. You're going to feel shame. You're going to feel guilt, because that just shows that God is working in you. And those are intrusive thoughts from the enemy. I kid you not. The enemy is going to try to get into your mind, have all these intrusive thoughts. It's the same with anxiety. I get flight anxiety all the time, different forms of anxiety. And it's constantly these intrusive thoughts of you're never going to be enough. You're not that good on TV, whatever it may be. I have this same thing. A lot of people go through this, especially flight anxiety. I'll get on a plane and think the plane is going to fall out of the sky. And it's just simply not the case. You are obviously solutions oriented, and you are working towards righteousness. You are working towards being the best version of yourself. And there is a guy out there who is going to appreciate that and love you for it. And so I don't want you to ever feel discouraged thinking that marriage is not in the cards for you just simply because you made mistakes in life. Honestly, Eliza, I think you're almost better for it that you made those mistakes, because then now, think about if you want to be a mother someday, if you're an older sibling, if you have cousins, you're able to advocate against that type of behavior. You can be a voice against doing the things that you did and the experiences that you had, and show them the consequence of that. I think that actually gives you more wisdom to instill in people, and obviously gives you a bigger testimony to tell. So I don't think this is anything to feel ashamed about, especially honestly, the fact that you're even owning up to it on a show with two conservative women with a very large audience just goes to show that you are accountable for your actions, that you want to fix the type of lifestyle that you may have had in the past. And so honestly, there are a lot of people out there that hide that version of themselves or still try to take a moral high ground. You're doing way better than the average individual, in my opinion. So we love you. We thank you for this question. I want to toss it over to Jamie to kind of answer the last part of that too.
I agree with everything you said, Cameron. I think that you are not alone. I think a lot of women have engaged in this. You are really not alone. And you're not alone in general, just in life. Like, there is not a single person, Cameron and I can speak on this, that we haven't done stuff we regret. Do you think we sit here, oh my gosh, we've lived this perfect life? Absolutely not. We are all sinners at the end of the day. Every single Christian. And that's what it's about. It's about owning up to your sin. I love that you're in conversation with a priest. It's the perfect way to go about this. You need religious counsel through this time. And I know that you spoke about going in, particularly into the church and maybe becoming a nun. I think that's amazing if you want to do that. But it does sound like from your post to us that you are, you really want to be a wife and a mother, and you will be. I know that you will be. And I think there's a lot of we're seeing right now on the right that there's been, kind of more of this far right manosphere content that's definitely coming out that I think is in response to how left everything's been for so long. And those men have every right to speak about the type of woman that they want to have, and maybe you're not the right woman for them, and that's fine. I don't think that these people speak on every single man. I think that there will be, like Cameron said, a lot of men that appreciate your devotion and your honesty. And I cannot tell you how many people, I think the reason why we're seeing so many women double down on abortion, on this feminist lifestyle, is because they have had maybe an abortion, or they've committed sexual sin where they've slept around and engaged in hookup culture. And instead of actually admitting that this isn't the correct pathway to be on, they double down and they continue to dig in deeper and deeper, because that is the hardest thing to admit, that you've done something wrong and that you're owning up to it. And I can't say this enough. Like, I never, ever, ever want this podcast to ever feel like we're judgy, we're holier than thou, that Cameron and I have lived perfect lives. We almost just do this as a big sister. We've seen things, we've met people, we've been through a life, and I think we have a great vision for a conservative Christian life, but that doesn't mean that we're perfect. And I always want people to feel welcome here. And I really believe that people who have made mistakes have become have the best testimonies and become the best advocates against those mistakes, whether that be the abortion or the hookup culture. And so you're welcome here. Anyone who's in the same situation, I want you to feel loved and welcome. And I think you're on an amazing path, and I'm so excited for you. And I think you have an amazing future, and you're going to meet the best guy that's just going to love what you're doing with the church. And I think you're incredible. Okay, going into Hot or Not, also Valentine's Day edition. So this is all kind of like dating trends, Cameron. Okay, hot or not, meeting a guy on a dating app?
I mean, hot in the sense of what? Like, is this girl just wanting a date? Like, give me a hypothetical. I mean, I think for me, I would go not, because I would
go not as well.
I think just organically, it's more fun to meet somebody out in like a real setting. I mean, that's how I met my husband. That's how you met your husband. And so I think there's just something more organic about that. It's just true, authentic human connection, in my opinion. So, but I mean, if you're just, I do want to honestly acknowledge that modern day dating is very hard. Like, I know some people who are just going through it right now. And we always say, people. Jamie, like, we got on the last choppers out of Nam when we got married. Like, we understand it's tough out there. So I don't want to completely like disavow if you just like want to go on a date, see how it goes. At least you're putting yourself out there. There are some people who just sit on their couch and think that Mr. Right is going to come to them. And so I do understand, but everything in moderation, and understand, ladies, that a lot of men that are on those apps aren't looking for long-term relationships. And so just be prepared for that. You're going to get what you give and put into it. And so if you're putting in that same energy and wondering why, you're not meeting your husband, that's probably it. So I'm going to go not.
I'm going to go not as well, and I think people that do meet on dating apps and have successful marriages are the exception, not the rule. That's at least my opinion, my experience. Like I said, there's definitely exceptions out there, but I think a lot of people will get on dating apps and then like expect that they're going to meet their husband on there, and I think it's way more important to get out there, join a church, join social functions, meet someone at work. I think is a better way to meet people, but like I said, not for me, but there's people that will meet. I'm just not a huge dating app person. I don't know, not my thing. Okay, situationships, hot or not?
No, I'm gonna go.
I knew you were
not.
gonna say
I
that.
am just such like you know me. I don't like games. I actually find it way more hot to just be completely upfront with me. Like I probably value transparency and loyalty over everything. Like so situationships where there's these games being played, you don't know where like the lines are drawn in the sand, you don't know where you stand with somebody. It's a waste of time in my opinion.
I'm going to go hot, not for too long. I actually love a game. Like, honestly, okay, it depends where you're at. In your early 20s, it's fun. I could see, though, like, if you're in your 30s and you're like, hey, I'm looking to get married. Like, I'm not up for these games. I could see how that could be very annoying. But in your early 20s, I think it's, like, kind of fun to play games. Like, I will not lie. I think Drake got me because he acted like he wasn't interested in me at all. And I'm like, how? I know you like me. Like, I was like, I know you like me. And I don't know. I just like a little game. I think
That's
they're
where
like
you
hot.
and I are so different, because if Pat were to ever pretend he didn't like me or didn't text me, I would immediately get bored, be ADD, and look for like on to the next. What is it? Thank you, next. And just go
It
to the
annoyed
next
me.
one.
It got into my head. I was like, what is going on here?
I'd be like, no,
he was
not
smart.
worth my time. You know,
He
you
was
should
smart
be
with that.
kissing the ground that I walk on.
But not for too long. Like if you have a guy that's like doing a situationship like 3 months in, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
It's fun to have that kind of back and forth at the beginning. Does he like me? Where do we stand? But if it goes on too long,
or
then
if you
I'm
know
out.
it's a game, or if you guys are like kind of both on the same page of like, okay, we're not trying to pursue, you know, marriage here. I want to go on some dates. I want to have some fun. You know, I don't know, just like. I get it if you define those terms, but if you're just like waiting to see if that guy likes you or not, that's like actually hell
It's
on earth.
almost a turn off for me if you're too forward at the beginning. I don't know how to explain it.
No,
yes,
I'm like
I like it to be hard to get.
Bombing. No, I love bombing. I feel like I deserve it. Like if you were gonna offer me a Chanel bag on the first day, I'd be like, I'd get me that too. Like I get it. You know that meme?
I know.
I get it.
You're like, of course I'm being love bombed.
Yeah,
like,
of course I'm being love bombed. Like I would love bomb myself.
I was actually going to do love bombing next, so you're hot with love bombing.
Yeah, I'd go hot. For sure. You know me, Jamie. You know I like that. Like, come on.
I know.
If somebody's going to 100% shower me and, like, love, affection, gift-giving, acts of service, like, filling every single bucket at the very beginning, like, give it here. Bring it to me. Like, I
am
want it
opposite.
all.
I like when you're hard to get at the beginning. I don't know how to explain
my
that.
gosh,
Not,
no.
like, into
That's
a
waste of
relationship.
time for me.
I don't know. I think it like I just
get
like
it,
that
though.
more.
I know what you mean. We just have different personalities that way.
Yeah. Okay, letting the guy text first. That is hot for me. I'm not going to text him first.
Like letting the like you're not responding until he texts you.
Like he has to instigate the text messages. Like I remember like when Drake and I were dating, like I would never text him first. Like he had to like text me. You know, like when you're texting and then like the conversation ends and then it's like, I love when you're in like these situationships at the beginning, you have like an ongoing like texting thing where you like come up with excuses to text each other. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
See, it's like fun, the games.
Pat
but
did
then,
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. I remember.
But then I feel like I said, I would always be like, oh, he has to text me first. Like,
well, I
that's
had
a guy's
that
job.
mindset, and then I never texted Pat. I remember this like little month stint, and then he thought I just like wasn't interested. Which one
I know
I'm a
guys like
terrible
don't
texter.
get that sometimes.
Yeah, no, but one I'm a terrible. You
Like,
know,
take
I am
charge.
the worst texter on the planet. Like I actually you guys, I will show you guys. Let me read how many texts I don't have open.
Let's see who wins.
Okay.
How many do you have not open?
Mine, let me take it off Do Not Disturb. 468.
Oh, I
text.
beat you. I have 570.
And then I have 296 calls, 128,000 emails unopened.
I have 959 missed calls, and then I have 40,000 missed emails.
Like, what? And then everybody, like, but don't take it as a personal offense. Like, I don't text anyone back. Like, truly. Unless it's like a meme or it's like a booker, I have to text back right away. I just really don't do it. But yeah, so I don't know. I bet texting him first. I mean, sometimes I would get a little tipsy and text Pat, or text, before I was married, be a texter. I don't know. I don't really care if he texts first. I kind of like, I feel like I instigate a lot of like interesting behavior. So like I text Pat like randomly. So I don't know. I'm going to go, what was the hot or not? Him texting first or or not texting first?
Yeah. Yeah,
which
letting
one
the
is
guy
it?
text first.
Oh,
Letting the guy text first.
Oh, okay. I'm
Hot for
either
me.
or. I'm either or. Like, I don't
Okay,
care.
last one. Soft launching your boyfriend on IG. That's like when you'll like post like his hand.
You
post,
already
like-
know my answer. I don't think you should post a boyfriend. Like, I truly don't think. Hard launch it when he puts a ring on that finger. Like, truly. I have posted boyfriends in the past and immediately regretted it. Because one, everybody was up in my business wanting to know why we broke up. And two, he wasn't even my husband. So why was I even sharing, like, my profile, my brand?
That's a hard one. Yeah, you're right. I don't really have like great advice on that.
Like, why would you soft launch a boy? What has he done for you? Like, truly. He asked you to be his girlfriend. He didn't ask to spend the rest of your life with him. So, no, don't launch that. I'm going to go
also,
not.
like, your Instagram is for work for the most part, so that's different
Yeah,
than, like,
but
a
even
personal
a personal
Instagram.
Instagram, do you really want all your friends and family when if you guys break up to be asking you why you broke up? Like,
What
that
if you've
just
been
kind
dating
of, like,
for years?
facilitates
I
that.
feel like that's normal to post your boyfriend if you've been dating for a while. I wouldn't post your boyfriend if you've only been dating, like, a few months, but, like, if you've been dating, like, a year or so, this is the one. Like, I think, like, if you have, like, a personal Instagram.
I think it's cute when you're in college, like, because there's college formals. There's, like, if you're dating an athlete, like, if you're at, like, an athletic game, like, it's kind of a part of the entire aesthetic, right? Like, I totally get it there. But once you're, like, out of college, and maybe this doesn't apply to the people in college who are serious about getting married. I'm talking about, like, when you're out of college or you get relationships a little bit after and you're like at a more serious age, maybe you want to settle down. I'm just gonna go not for that,
Yeah. I could see that. I'm gonna go, I'm actually gonna be opposite. I'm gonna go hot. I think it's like, I don't know. I think like, if you're not doing an Instagram for work, like I said, if you've been dating a little while, then soft launch him, get him on your Instagram. You have to be pretty serious though. I think it's funny when people break up and they go and delete their old photo. I feel like that's like a normal thing though. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Been
like,
there. Been there.
When the block happens and then the unfollow and all the photos.
Oh my gosh. Every time I got a block, Sincerely Sisters, Jamie got the block too. It was like we bestied so hard they would block Jamie.
The best was like when someone blocked like the conservator as well.
Oh yeah.
You're best friends when you are also getting the block.
Yes, 100%. I love that though.
Oh my god, I think that's hilarious. Okay, headed into the last section. I feel like we've gone long in this episode. If you're still here with us, propaganda that we're not falling for.
Propaganda I'm not falling for, like kind of on the trend of talking about Bad Bunny, the halftime show, like embracing American tradition, is the saying diversity is our strength. I honestly think that assimilation is our strength. Having people come into this country who want to be here, who share like-minded values, who want to embrace American traditionalism. I think that is what makes America great. And people who want to contribute to our economy, be hardworking individuals in society, not these people who come here and don't even want to be here, who trash on our values, who don't want to speak our language. That is propaganda that I'm sincerely not falling for, kind of on topic of the Bad Bunny halftime show.
Well, I think you bring up a good point because I don't know a single organization, country, group of people where you benefit if no one has anything in common.
Right.
And I think, like you said, I actually think it's a weakness if you don't have anything in common. It's better if you're united and you have a lot in common and you have a similar goal. I think in
You're
any
more
type of
lethal
thing when you're
force.
gathering people together,
No,
whether it's as big as
exactly.
a country or an organization, like I don't.
Well, my
I
mind goes
agree
to
with
the
that.
military too, where it's like, they lowered the fitness qualifications under the Biden administration, and then we
Yeah.
raised those with Pete Hegseth. It's like, no, diversity is actually not our strength. That makes us a less lethal force, less people contributing to our economy, and people aren't being as productive as they could be. They're not speaking our language. We're having language barriers, and it just, like you said, it's not a cohesive society. We need people who are willing to assimilate and embrace our values here.
Yeah. Okay, so mine is on similar vein, propaganda I'm not falling for because it goes off of the halftime show. God, we were like really triggered by the halftime show. But like it just follows themes that we're seeing, which is if you guys saw like projected on the screen, it was the only thing more powerful than hate is love. And it's just such a cliche, and I will kind of get into it. One, it's a cliche. Two, it's actually like a very like toxic pointed message because the whole point is like if you don't get on board with mass immigration and bringing in people from all around the world that we have not vetted and could be criminals and harm our own people, if you don't get on board with that, if you don't get on board with transing children, like then you hate people and we love people. Like I don't. It's just like it's supposed to be like a knife in people that just disagree with you politically and like. We don't even need to defend ourselves. I don't hate anybody. I just am like, no, I want law and order. I want to have a closed border. I want to have safety and security for our citizens. It makes common sense. And no, I don't believe in like transing children and a lot of your far left stuff. I'm against it. Sorry. That doesn't make me a hateful person. I just disagree with you politically. And then the second part, the people who we see these cliches all the time, like, love one another. All these liberals say it. I'm like, you guys celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. And you guys are the people in Minneapolis rioting every day, going into our churches and screaming at people, going into the CorePower and screaming at people. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I don't like putting everybody in a basket. But in general, the left is the most intolerant and hateful group of people I've ever met in my entire life. They call people Nazis, fascists if you disagree with them. They're coming after you online and like very toxic. So I think you need to be saying that to yourself because truly, if you live by that message that you are for loving everyone, then you would be probably more of an apolitical person that's like, oh, I do. I love people despite their political beliefs, despite their backgrounds, despite this. I'm going to choose to love everybody. And I do think actually more conservatives live by that because I think like at least the conservatives I hang out with, like we wouldn't, be toxic and cut someone out of our lives because they disagree with us politically. And I think we're understanding of other people's differences of belief way more. And so I actually think in general, conservatives and Christians tend to live by that. And they always equate disagreeing with something with hate. Like I said, it's like, just because I don't agree with your policies doesn't mean I hate people. I just find that message, like, it's supposed to be toxic. Like I said, this whole halftime show was supposed to be just like an FU to conservative-leaning people. And it's like, congrats. Like, what did you contribute? Just more toxicity while you were preaching your fake love? Like, and it's just like, it's like when like the NFL did like the end racism. What racism is ended by right? Like, what person's like, oh, I'm racist. I read this on the back of the helmet. Never mind. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, how you bring people together is not by doing toxic, hyper-political messaging. It's instead bringing people into the fold and saying, hey, we might disagree on these issues and we can have a civil debate, but we're not going to shoot people. We're not going to attack you violently. We're not going to harass you online. It's understanding each other's differences and then trying to maybe find something in the middle and a compromise. Or not even finding that compromise, but being like, I can love you as my neighbor, even though you might disagree with me politically. That is true love.
I agree. I think mic drop. You said it all.
Okay, what propaganda are you falling for, Cameron?
This is on a whole other topic. Like,
yeah, mine is too.
So stupid for saying this after we just went on a political rant. But propaganda propaganda that I am falling for is pink chores versus blue chores. And I know that's like so random, but I truly believe in this. This is the way God intended it for it to be. When I tell you, I have not taken the trash out, I feel like my entire marriage. I actually did it for the first time the other day. I threw away this fugly bean bag that Pat bought off of Amazon. And I had to get rid of it because I had to put in this inflatable like air mattress for my sister and her friend to like sleep in the den. But we had a bean bag there. But honestly, like I think that laundry is like a pink chore. I think like separating the colors to the whites, like men wouldn't remember how to do that. I just feel like that's a pink chore. There are just different things where I feel like women, obviously the caretaker is more nurturing. Like whenever like anybody's sick in the household, I feel like I'm the one like getting the medicine ready, like making the teas, making soup, like making sure that we're like, I don't know. And then there are things that my husband does, like fixing the cable and like making sure like everything's connected with our Wi-Fi and like things that I wouldn't necessarily be as in tune with. So that's some propaganda I am falling for. I will 100% bow down when it comes to not doing. I do not want to do a blue chore ever.
I completely agree.
So
I completely agree with all of that. Mine is similar. Mine is not serious. Now I'm going Maha Mom. The propaganda that I am falling for recently, I've been doing like for our family, like low carb meals. And they're just, and this is coming from someone who loves bread. I am big into carbs, but especially for dinner, I just feel like if you're doing like more of a protein and vegetable heavy dinner, it just makes you feel way better. So recently I've been doing these ground beef bowls. Oh my gosh, Sincerely Sisters, you guys need to try this recipe. It's ground beef with like paprika and onion powder seasoning and chili powder. And then you do the same seasoning and you put sweet potato and broccoli in the oven and you roast that. And then also you chop up an onion for your ground beef. So you cook that separately. You put it all into a bowl and you put some avocado in there. Oh my gosh, it is so good. High protein, no carbs, all clean. It gets your veggies in. Sweet potato is something I've actually come to love. Like it's a really good vegetable and it's so good for you. And my daughter loves it. And so it's great for kids as well. I call it like my power bowl. And then another thing that I've been loving recently is spaghetti squash, which was like a huge thing when I was in high school, but I am bringing that back. I did like spaghetti bolognese and I did with the spaghetti squash where you go in with the fork and obviously, it doesn't taste exactly like spaghetti, but it tastes so good. So you guys should try that. We want to get the Sincerely Sisters all healthy and living their best lives. All right, girls. This was a long episode today.
It was.
If you've hung in there, thank you for watching the whole thing. We always love to hear from you guys, so make sure that you comment, DM us what you love. If there's anything you want us to talk about, questions, submit. We love hearing from you. And if you are in the Virginia area, make sure that you register for my event on February 27th with the Virginia Council. I'm super excited for that.
Yes.
And anything else, Cam?
Nope, that's it. We hope to see you to support Jamie, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, girls. Bye.